Hey everybody, this is Nathan at Kitten Equipment. It's been a while. I haven't done a video in probably, I don't know, 2 months or so. We've been so busy trying to get these things out. I don't really have time. Now we got a nice crisp October morning. It's a little dark out. Hopefully the lighting's good. I wanted to do something on these new subcompacts, and I say new, they've been out like a year now. They're kind of a new model to us. I'll go over that, but we have not been able to keep them in stock long enough for me to do a video on. Stuff comes in unassembled. You can probably, hold on. You can see there's probably 10 of these on the front lot and 20 or so other units in crates still. We still haven't gotten to. And we're just now getting to a point where we can, I don't know, have them assembled for show, and they're not already sold and leaving by the time they actually get them done. So they're a new model. These subcompacts just got redesigned. There were 2 generations before, and I like to say the guts are the same between these and those. Some stuff is different, but the first generation was called a CS20 and it was just a 24 horsepower. Then there was a 25 and 2210, and they split those horsepowers, but identical tractor, just 2 horsepowers. Now we've got the 20 series, so we have a CS2220 and 2520. And those 20 series, and just like the 10 series, they do it a little bit differently than everybody else. Most subcompact manufacturers are going to make 2 or 3 different subcompacts, and there's going to be some differences between a cheaper and a more expensive model with options and features. You'll usually have a lower horsepower, lesser featured model, and then you'll have a higher horsepower, you know, with all the deluxe stuff that they put on it. Kioti doesn't do that. The only thing that's different between this and a 22 horse, because this is a 25, CS2520. The only difference is the horsepower. Everything else is identical. So you can put the same loader on both, same mower decks. They have the same lift capacity, same backhoes, same digging force between both. Everything is identical except for that engine horsepower. So people usually ask me, do I need a 25 horse? Or, you know, I think it's about $1,000 difference in price there. So why would you need a 25 over a 22? The 2 reasons, I guess it just depends on your situation. I own a 22 horse personally, and I mow 3 acres with it, and I use the loader. It works great. If I was going to say, hey, I need a 25 horse for what I'm doing, I would think about mainly the PTO. You can run a lot of implements on these. This is a full-size Category 1 PTO. It's going to have, I think the 22 horse is like 17 PTO horse, maybe 16, and then your 25 horse is closer to 19. So that Category 1 PTO can fit all kinds of 4-foot implements. They make a whole slew of implements for these things now. Subcompacts are the best-selling size tractor in the country now. So all of those different implements are going to have a PTO horsepower requirement, all the ones that require, you know, a drive shaft and power. So if you're running a 4-foot tiller and you're in hard ground, or if you're running that 4-foot bush hog and you're climbing across hillsides, you might need that extra 3 horsepower that the 25 horse has. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it would be if I'm running this big 60-inch mower deck, and this mower deck is very heavy duty. It's a nice open air deck. I wonder if I can show you that. We'll go over the deck more later too. But it's a big open air deck, and it's designed to take as much grass as you can give it. I have personally bush hogged with mine. Don't tell the owner here, but it does a good job. So if I'm running the 60-inch deck and I'm going through bush hog tall grass and I'm climbing up a hillside, you're going to find some situations on a 22 horse where you have to put it in low range, where the 25 horse will just chug on through in high range. That's another good way to describe it. You know, you might be able to go a little bit quicker on the 25. Otherwise, they're identical machines. There's no difference in them. So let's go over the stuff that they've changed on a 22, or I'm sorry, on a 20 series, so a CS2220 and 2520 that's new from the previous generation. Start at the front. First off, we've got a skid steer quick attach front bucket. That's awesome. So that's going to fit any implement that you want to put on there that's skid steer quick attach. The old bucket was pin on. A lot of them in the market are still a pin on, but that skid steer quick attach wing pops off, and you back out of it on both sides, pops off, and then you back under it, run under, and then clamp back on. Pallet forks, little 48-inch grapples. I've got those in stock. You can get factory third function kits for these. It's a lot more resemblant of a larger loader that you'd see on a larger tractor, the way they've done it. You've got twin curl cylinders. They used to have a single curl cylinder right in the middle. A little over 1,000 pounds of loader lift to full height now. So, I mean, it's a hoss of a subcompact tractor. That's one of the largest on the market, if not the largest. Like, I don't know there's a lot of them out there, but around here, you don't see much heavier lift capacity than that. And then I mentioned more full-size tractor style. So we've got all metal lines that run down here, and you've got a tractor-mounted loader valve that's under there. This stick is right on your right hand to control your loader. It's not floating up here in the air. So what that does, two things: it's more comfortable and ergonomic. You don't have to lift your arm up to constantly use the loader, and you've also got a pass-through on both sides with nothing obstructing you. So you've got a nice side-by-side pedal. You don't have a treadle pedal. You can walk on this nice big open deck, and that's something on subcompacts to think about. How much space and room do you have? Because a lot of us are larger. You know, I'm 6 foot, 240 pounds. And its comfort is kind of important because these things aren't the biggest in the world. So nice big open station. Oh, let's see. We've got a new quick attach system for the loader. So you can take everything on and off with these latches. You sit these legs down, you get on the tractor, you sit the weight down between the bucket and the legs, pull these latches up and they'll pop up, and then you just curl the bucket and raise the loader, and this actually raises up out, and then you just disconnect your 4 quick couplers over here and you're in business. So you can probably take that off in a minute and put it right back on in a minute. So loader, we got a new grill guard, we've got a new hood, metal. You don't see that a lot in these size tractors. So metal hood. We've also got metal decking here, not the deck, the actual decking where your feet sit is all metal with a nice deck mat. We've got a new engine. So I shouldn't say new engine. These used to have a Shibuya Japanese company, really nice little 3-cylinder diesel. Kioti has gone all Kioti now. So you've got a Kioti 3-cylinder diesel. It's the same one they put in their canine utility vehicles. Just a little 3-cylinder, water cooled, no emissions. Your 25 horse, this 2520, is actually 24.5, I think, because it beats out the emissions. So under emissions control, it's like a 61 cubic inch, 0.9 liter, nice little 3-cylinder diesel. So now I can say everything that Kioti offers from the ground up, just like in their larger tractors, is made by them. I mean, everything in this tractor is made by Kioti for Kioti. So that's why we went with them 20 years ago. They're a phenomenal brand, and they can get parts. I've got old tractors that we regularly rebuild. You know, we can get every part for. New options and features on the deck. So we've got push button PTO. The old one used to be lever. This one's independent hydraulic push button. Tilt steering. So you got a tilt steering lever. You can move that wheel up and down. They moved the key switch. So if anybody has that old model, the key switch used to be a little bit more out here, and it was really easy to knock your knee off. I apologize to anybody who's experienced that, but I've done it on the lot before. I've knocked my knee and it breaks the key off in the ignition, and you cuss, and you call me and you need a new key. This one's recessed, and it's kind of off to the right a little bit more, so I've not had that issue on mine that I own at home. It's much better position. Let's see what else. That's the same mechanical 4-wheel drive, mechanical differential lock, 3-point hitch control. Over here you've got your high-low range on your hydrostat, and your loader stick, we already went over that. What we didn't go over was this lock here. So this, if you take that loader off and you've got those hydraulics sitting with nothing attached to them, this loader stick here, you don't want to be able to move it. So this actually locks it, this lever here. You can unlock it, it's usable, or you can lock it and you can rest your hand on it without pushing those hydraulics. We call it deadheading the hydraulics against the lever. Fuel tank. Oh, that's your 3-point hitch control, which also controls your mower deck height. Here's 1/4-inch increment settings for the mower deck. I think the old one was 1/2 inch. Cruise control standard equipment. Look at this, USB charging. Now we're dealing with like Lexus level luxury in our subcompact tractor. Cup holder, phone holder, PTO selector between mid, rear, or both. And then let's see, mower deck. The mower deck is actually the same frame as what the old one was, but they've added drive over. So you got weldment here, you've got a nice metal case here, and you've got weldment on the back to drive over the thing. The old one was actually totally fine to drive over. Everything, these pulleys are all cast. Everything's greasable and really heavy duty. You never hurt the old one by doing it, but now it's just a little bit easier and it's made to do it from the factory. Same deck, same, I don't know if you can see it, nice heavy duty V-belt. We get 600 or 700 hours out of a deck belt on these on average. Drive shaft driven all the way through to the gearbox. Nice quick attach system, just quick pull pins and a center drive shaft to take on and off. So super convenient there. So those are a lot of the upgrades. What else on this thing? This is something that's important. When you're looking at subcompacts, you've got two schools of thought. You've got, and these things became really popular in like 2005, 2006 and newer. So when that happened and all the tractor manufacturers decided to make a subcompact, they had two ways to go. One, they could go down to their lawn and garden line and they could build up into a little bit heavier diesel tractor, put a four-wheel drive front axle on it, call it a day. Or two, if they didn't have a lawn and garden line, they could go to their larger tractor line and build down. Kioti never had a lawn and garden line, especially not back then. So they did not really have an option to build up. They had to build down. What does that mean for this? It means that all of these levers and switches and controls, all of these things are right out of your larger tractors. Kioti RX, like that RX cab over there, it's the same buttons, same levers. All of this stuff is really nice and heavy duty as opposed to what you see in some of the lineups that some people have, where this stuff is kind of cheap, kind of the same key switch you might see in a little $1,500 lawnmower at Lowe's. I mean, it's different. So that's something to consider. This is stuff you have your hands on all the time. After that 2-year bumper-to-bumper warranty's gone, is that stuff going to break? I don't know. Heavier duty's better. So that's an interesting little tidbit. It's, I don't know, something to look at. So we got this model. I've also got a backhoe unit down here. On the backhoe, and the way to designate these backhoe units, if you look at the model number, this is a 2520S. That S stands for subframe, which is what the backhoe units come with from the factory to make that backhoe quick attach. And I tell you, I don't have it set up to show you here, but the Backhoe quick attach system is much nicer than it used to be. You've got a quick pull pin up here, and then on the bottom there's a hook. So that hook sits down on a pin. So basically you sit your outriggers out, you sit your bucket down, you get a good flat spot, and then you just undo that pin on the top, and then you raise your bucket and it rocks that hook off of the pin that it sits on down there, and then it's off. You've got these little hydraulic lines, much simpler than they used to be. You unplug one line, basically you take this output that's currently tied into the backhoe and you unplug it on both sides, and then you just connect the cycle, the circuit. I call it the circuit usually. So you just unplug one and plug it back into the other, and then when you go to put the backhoe on, you undo that and plug your lines back in. So very simple. You've got a flip around seat, and that flip around seat turns right around and you've got a nice operator platform. On some of these subcompacts you don't have that, you just dangle your feet off the back, but you've got a nice big platform to sit your feet on. Pretty nice setup on this new backhoe. It's already mounted for a thumb. You've got the bracket there. Oh, something else on these new ones, toolbox and a new light. Also, previous owners of these things might know that the old lights were a little bit more breakable. These are a little bit heavier duty. And now they also make a shield for them. You can bolt on a nice armor for this thing. If you get up close to trees on that mower deck, you know that it's really easy to get those lights knocked off. So anyway, those are upgrades on these. A little bit about the subcompacts. For the money, they went up a little bit, but I mean, they start in the 14,000 range, depending on how you build them. Maybe 12 without anything on them, but really 14. And you can go up to, I don't know, 17 or 18 for the nicest deluxe 25 horse with all the bells and whistles. So if you're interested, give us a call. We probably have 30 of these now, maybe 40, I don't know. We got a bunch in. Stuff that they owed us in the spring that finally showed up now. We should have had them earlier. But yeah, it's here. So give us a call, 859-356-9091, and come and look at one. Come and drive them. They're set up. Thanks, guys.